I'm very proud of myself today because of an interaction that was very awkward but very necessary. I went to check out a new gym today, a new athletic center, and I took a tour with this guy. Was there for about an hour. Seems like an awesome place. It seems like something I'd be very happy to be a part of. And like all gyms, they had to take some interesting measures before just giving me the straight up price of membership. And before having me, sign the papers, they really want to make sure that your spending muscle is warmed up. You're ready to go to sign some papers with a commitment of a year in this case, and not a tiny payment each month either. Potentially a worthwhile payment, but not a small one. And we get through the whole thing. I'm feeling really good. I'm having all these great ideas about how I'll be going to this place. He gives me the price, and it honestly is pretty close to what I expected it to be. And then he sits me down. I start putting my name on contracts and stuff, and then he says, is that going to be on a debit or a credit card? And I say, I guess we could do a credit. I reach for my wallet for a second, then I say, I'm sorry, can I use the bathroom? And he said yes. He was very cool with this whole thing. Throughout the whole thing that followed, I went into the bathroom and I just thought for a second about all the other times when I felt like I was put in a position where it was whip out the cash now. All the times I've been put into that position and how frustrated I get with myself after being in a situation like that and just giving into, okay, I guess I'll just pay it just because it would be an awkward scenario for me to say, no, I don't feel quite comfortable doing that right this moment. And I just look in the mirror and I'm like, okay, but are you going to stick with your principles, Joe? Is it worth it? Is it worth it having an awkward encounter with somebody if it means that you are absolutely certain that you are being financially sound with this? And the answer was, yeah, it is worth an awkward conversation. So I go back in and I say, hey, I hate to say this. Can I decide on this tomorrow? And he talked me through a couple ways that maybe this is not as stressful as I might think it is. And, he brings up, there obviously is a conflict when signing up for anything new, taking another step. And a lot of the time we're pretty happy that we took that initial step. He's not slimy about this at all. I really do appreciate how he acted in this whole scenario. And he heard me out, and he said, you can even come to the first class that you were going to come to, like later this week. And you can kind of decide then if you want to. And it's 3 days from now. And I said, yes, I think that would be awesome. Because now I get to talk it over with myself and with a couple people whose opinion I value. And there's a very good chance I will sign up for this place. I'm just so happy that I didn't force myself to make this move right on the spot when I wasn't feeling 100% about it. When my money is involved. It feels magnificent that I'm claiming that kind of power, especially over my finances, which are something that I'm only now starting to feel like I have any control over. I'm getting to kind of a good place. I have a good psychological relationship with money at the moment. And I want to keep it that way. And I think that this interaction was sort of a cornerstone interaction, and I will remember this for a long time. Remember that time when my back was against the wall and I just gave a very firm acknowledgement of my needs. That I sometimes feel like are just sort of not relevant. Or just, I aim to please the person that's selling it to me. That's the other thing about, a lot of these places that get somebody who's intentionally super likable. Whether it's this or buying a car or any other place where you're in a sign here kind of position. Get somebody who's super likable that you want to feel like they have a good feeling about you. I remembered, but this guy does have a job at the end of the day, and that's to sell me on this, and I need to remember that I am a patron. And the fact that I didn't do it passively either. I mean, I'm going to get back to him. That's the other thing. If I decide that I'm not going to do this, I need to get back to him about this in order to completely feel good about myself. Because I've done soft, passive rejections, whether it's with people or with other sales in the past, and that doesn't feel good either. It feels like I'm still cowering away from just asserting myself honestly about something that's very important to me, which is my finances. As important to me as my physical health, which is why, I'm trying to get into this thing potentially in the first place. Yeah, I just feel really, really good about myself. I'm really proud about myself. And it's not so often that I feel proud about myself for intentionally putting myself into an awkward conversation. But I'm not that awkward,